Okay. So, first of all, thank you for taking time out of your busy day
Sure
to
problem. Anything for you, Brand.
thank you for taking time out of your busy day to sit down with us and talk about all the amazing things that you're doing. I got to talk to the chat a little bit about some of the things that you got going on that we'll talk about in the interview. But welcome in to the interview. So we'll jump right in because I know you busy. You know, booked and busy out here. So let's get started. So why don't you tell us about who you are? Tell us about yourself and what got you into gaming.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Junae Benne. My very first like tagline was like natural hair gamer because I'm natural, and so I like to like. I used to like to do my hair and figure out stuff to do with it. So that's how I started with natural hair gamer. Then I started working with like small black-owned businesses for natural hair care products. So I would like they're pretty much like my sponsors in the beginning. And in the very beginning, I went to school for journalism, and I had internships at like Comcast Sportsnet during like the basketball lockout. So I realized I didn't want to do sports because they kept making me write about stuff like golf, and I didn't want to do that. So I was like, I'm not going to do this. So then I was like, okay, let me go to news. So then I was blessed enough to get an internship at NBC.
Okay.
So I got an internship at NBC, and like that stuff was terrifying. I was talking to this lady who has been like an on-air journalist for a long time, and she was like, "You got to walk up to people who just lost their kids and like interview them." And I was like, "Oh no, baby, this is not for me."
Right?
So I couldn't do it. So then I was like, you know what? Video games aren't sad, right? Fast forward 5 years later. I was like, video games aren't sad. Like maybe that's what I want to report about. I always want to play. I always want to do this. I always want to do that. And that's how I got into it. And then I started, I had moved to Colorado after I graduated from college. And I was like, man, I just want to be around more gamers. So I created this entity called the Gaming Dojo. And it was just to get other gamers around me. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to party with people who were like me. And that went really, really well. I started like hosting tournaments and stuff like that all the way out in Colorado, linking up with other people who were doing the same thing, like getting the venues, the prize money. I was even doing early releases, little old me, getting stuff
Okay.
like NBA and Madden early,
Okay.
and having like to do tournaments where people would win literally. You know, I was doing it, but I wasn't doing it big. So they would literally win the copy of 2K we were just playing on. But you know, still, it was a midnight release. It was cool. They were
Right.
cool. They didn't have to pay $60 for the game.
Right.
So
Right. Exactly.
yeah.
Okay, okay, nice. So you've done internships. I think it's really funny that you said, the lady said you're gonna have to walk up to people who just lost their kids and like, oh no, baby, not for me.
Ma'am. I was like, you gotta do. She was like, yeah, because I guess like she's done it before. The and another thing that pushed me over the edge, Kanye and Kim were visiting Chicago, and they were like, "This is newsworthy." I was like, "No, it's not." I was like, "No, it's really not."
Right.
And literally that was the day I was like, "I'm not cut out for this." I was like, "I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it." So yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. No, no, not news. No. So jumping more into the gaming side of things, um, what is your favorite game of all time?
Um, it used to be Overwatch, right? Remember we used to be on Overwatch like a lot? Like that was like my
Yeah.
jam, you know?
Yes.
All time, I think it might be Tomb Raider because like I
Yes.
love, but you know what? I think it's like anything Tomb Raider style because I
Yes.
love Tomb Raider. I love Uncharted. And those things just have me like engrossed and going forever. And it's nice because then I can like zone out. I get to do puzzles, even though I be getting frustrated. I get to do puzzles and then like kind of just go through the story by myself, even though like I really, really love multiplayer. I think another game, you know, it's crazy. I think this game might be my favorite game, but I haven't played it since like '97.
Okay.
If you heard of Chips Challenge, it's a PC game.
Okay. I haven't heard of it.
So you can actually play it like online. and I was looking for the emulator like yesterday or something, and it was like it's really any old PC game from like my Windows 97. I'm into it. Like there was a game where like you used to snowboard. I think it was called like ski melt or something. You used to like ski, and then a Yeti would come out and eat you if you weren't fast enough. That was like the
What?
scariest thing to me, you know? And like I was terrified. I was like, like I literally had panic attacks, and it's like it's this little thing, like not even this big. And a little Yeti would just eat my person. I would be like, oh, I don't want to play no more.
Not
Like,
a
it was
Yeti.
dumb.
Not a
Yeah.
Yeti. Okay, so we do have some people in the chat that know what you're talking about.
Okay.
And they said the Yeti was
Okay.
terrifying.
Yeah, no, it was like it was just you saw this thing with teeth, and like I never played like old school Doom, right?
Yeah,
so like
yeah.
to me, the little things were scary, and that
Yeah.
game was the littest of brightness,
Yeah.
like the least well drawn. It was just scary.
Yes.
Ski
Okay.
free, right? Ski free.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that. Just
Yeah,
so
it's
I
good,
can see
it's
this
good.
Yeti. Okay, so thinking about like your childhood and everything, do you feel like you saw yourself represented in gaming growing up, and was this important to you?
You know what's funny, and it's about to be a little bit of a roundabout story. I'm trying to fix this here. I don't think I realized that I wasn't represented because I didn't really deal with like racism and prejudiced people until I was like 10. And me and my sisters are kind of like different shades, but like we're not like no one's like super light and no one's super dark. And so I started dealing with that when I was like 10. We had moved, and I moved to the suburbs, and it was awful. And I remember like I got in trouble because I was like, there's all these white people here. And like we literally had like a meeting with my mom and everything. But I was like, I just don't understand. I was like, because there was white people where I came from, but like these were like all white people. Like it was 2.5 of us, and I'm saying half because the other black boy was half black. It was 2.5 of us and like
2.5.
our whole grade and like the whole school, and it was just bad. So I didn't need to see that until that time. And when I was 10, my sister told me that I started playing more games, but it was really more so like it was really so me playing like our old NES or like trying to get our PlayStation to work. And I would just be like playing those games like Toomba, trying to play like Mario and stuff like that. So I really didn't appreciate that until I bought my very first system, which was a PlayStation 3. And I was playing Assassin's Creed, and I was obsessed with it. And then I don't even remember seeing my first black girl. I don't remember. I had to be in my 20s. I had to be in my 20s to see my first like black character, besides like Eddie from Tekken. But that didn't count because, you know, I was like, oh, he's Jamaican, and people were like, he's Brazilian. And I was like, nope, that's not right.
Yeah.
I was like, nope, that's not true. But I used to see like Eddie, and then I started like making my own character when what was that game versus DC?
What? The not the Sims?
It was what?
Not the Sims. You talking about the Sims? That was my first
No,
time.
there was a game. There was a fighting game that let you make your own player online.
Oh, okay.
And it was like it wasn't Marvel versus DC.
Oh,
It was-
DC versus Capcom?
I don't think so because it was also like an online like top down game. But yeah, I started making my own character in there, and then that's when I started seeing like the froze.
Yeah.
And I was like, whose idea was this, you know? And then when I first saw like my fully like fleshed out black girl in a video game, I had to be like 22.
Yeah.
22 to 23. So
Yeah.
I really didn't see it a lot when I was growing up, but I feel like I just needed it, and that's when I started streaming.
Yeah.
And then I started meeting like other black girls, and I didn't realize that we were like lacking. I just thought I was in a space where I was by myself.
Yeah.
So I just thought I was like, oh, maybe I just need to find more. But like when I first started streaming, I started getting attention from like a lot of black people because they're like, oh, we don't see black girls like on Twitch and stuff like that. And you couldn't stream to the first until you couldn't stream on like the first gen consoles unless you had like an adapter,
Right.
and or and who was buying the capture card,
Right. Right.
and then it's not until you could stream from like your PlayStation to Xbox that we
Right.
all really started coming out the woodwork. So
Yeah.
I was just like early on to get my Xbox and to get I got the Kinect. I still got it at home, and I got the Kinect. And the Kinect used to like zoom in on my face like this and zoom out and zoom. But I be there streaming like, all right, let's play Rayman Legends. Let's do this. And so I got a lot of attention that
Yeah.
way.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just started finding more. And then I realized that a lot of the Black girls that I met were really into like Mass Effect, which I never heard about, right? Until I was like 20 something. I usually had just all of the pixelated games. They were, or like any computer games. They were like really into Mass Effect and Elder Scrolls and things like that because you could build your character and you would be Black. And I never had that experience because like my first handheld was a Game Boy Advance and I had Madden. Like that was it. You know what I mean? Like I never really saw commercials as much as I watched TV. I never saw commercials for video games.
Nope.
I did it, and I never
And
got like a catalog.
if you did see commercials for video games, it wasn't geared towards us. It was always, I always say this, but it's always like little white boys playing it, or
Then
it was marketed
maybe I could have tuned out, right? Because I just don't remember any of it, any like ever. Like I remember the Quiznos commercials with the creepy puppets.
Yeah.
I remember watching commercials in between like 4Kids.
Yeah.
Like CW or whatever it was and stuff, but like I don't remember it.
Yeah.
But like like all the other Black girls that I was meeting liked those games because you could build yourself.
Yeah.
And then I realized I didn't have the attention span to play the games where you would build your custom character. Like I just leveled up to being able to be like, okay, I can sit down and play this. But gaming is an expensive hobby, and I had just gotten out of school, and it was like, I would play more stuff like Ninja Gaiden, and like I said, Uncharted and every Assassin's Creed. And then I had a Nintendo 64, so I would go back to playing like Mario Kart and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. So jumping over into like the journalism aspect of things, when did you realize you wanted to get into like video game journalism specifically? So I know you said you had an internship with like NBC and they wanted you to do all these wild things that you weren't comfortable with, but like that moment where you was like, oh, wait a minute, video game journalism, how can I get into this? Or like what brought you to that?
All right, real talk. I was making it up a lot.
Okay.
I just kept saying video game journalist. I'm telling you, right?
Okay.
So I was making it up. When I first thought of it, I was like, I'm gonna be a video game journalist. I don't even know what that means. I'm gonna watch G4. I'm gonna watch E3. And like, I would see these people on there, and you could tell, no shade, because these people are there and I wasn't, but you could tell that they weren't classically trained as journalists. And so then I was like, I can do it. I can do that job. I can do that job too. I can do it. And so I was like, I'm going to be a video game journalist. But realistically, I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know there's a difference between video game journalists and like esports hostess and things like that. There are sections within gaming. And I didn't know. So at first I was making it up. And then when I got to Colorado, I found a video game marketing company who used to go around to different events, and I was like, oh, and they had like this online show, and I ended up being the writer because there was a little bit of colorism going on.
Oh Lord.
So I ended up being the writer instead of like on-air talent. So I was just like writing, and then like they actually turned out to be kind of bad anyway, and they like went bankrupt and stuff like that.
Ooh.
So I got a bit of a head start being around that, and like that's when I first started being able to. That's when I first started tournament organizing and like running brackets and stuff like that. So it's like it's like a big thank you to them. But like I didn't get to do video game journalism until I started going after it. I started saying, I want to write this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to record this, I'm going to upload it. And I'm telling you, it's probably still on YouTube. Or maybe I never posted it. I'm going to check it out. I tried to do a review of Adventure Time, and I did not have a capture card. I literally took my camera, put it on the screen like a behind shot. I sat on the floor. I put my camera on the couch, and I put it on the screen, and I was playing Adventure Time talking about it. And I
Yeah.
don't know if I uploaded it, but that was my, like I was trying something. And
Yeah.
then I think I went on the internet and I was like, hey, you guys, you think it's trash if I like use a camera to like record my TV to post something? And everyone was like, yeah, big trash. So maybe I never posted it because of that, because I remember that specific feedback. And I was like, man, I got to upgrade my game.
Yeah.
So then what I started doing was just going to events and talking to people, right? Because I had a camera. And that's how it started. And then I started getting involved in like writing programs and things like that. And that's how I came up with my video game journalism course, because people don't tell you how to write reviews. They don't tell
Right.
you how
They
to interview
don't.
people. They don't tell you how to fill out press passes. They don't tell you how to even qualify for press
Right.
passes.
Right.
And I do all of that in my course because I'm like, nobody told me. Everybody was jerking me around. People made me think that I could make a career out of this, and you can't. This is a weekend gig. You cannot. Or at least right now, you cannot. You cannot do that. Even the people that you see like hosting tournaments and stuff like that, that's their weekend gig. Like they're like I met so many people and they're like, well, I'm an actor full time, but like I take contracts to come out and do this. And if somebody would have told me that, I think I would have set my expectations. But
Yeah.
like here I am being like, no, I got to do this. And if I don't, I'm a failure. And it's not true. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the bumps in the road don't determine my worth, which is something that I
Yes.
didn't learn until a couple years ago.
Yes. Thank you for pointing that out. So, a couple things about what you were saying. And, boss, I do see your question. I am collecting the questions in a document. So, we'll go back through them at the end. But yeah, so I wanted to. I'm glad you brought up. You had to record Adventure Time with your camera, and like you were like, is this trash? Is it, it's not really high tech, but that is the thing. Like when you really want to do something, you will make a
You
way
do it.
to do it. You will bootleg. You will do whatever it is that you need to do to get it done. If that's what you really want to do, you have to start somewhere, and that's exactly what you
Yep.
did. You started somewhere. You didn't have
And you know
the
what?
technology, but that's okay.
And you know what? I dare you. Go on my YouTube, look at what was it called? It's called like Genealogy. And This Week in Gaming, I literally did every episode on my phone. And like just see if you can tell.
Okay.
This Week in Gaming and Genealogy, I literally did every episode on my phone. And I am not gonna lie, like I really had help editing it, because you cannot tell that like I did it on my phone. Like I literally went to Walmart. I bought $2 worth of green fabric as my green screen that I
Yes.
still use today.
Yep.
And I put it behind me, and literally just how I'm like this, I had a tripod. I put my phone on the tripod, and then I would record. I would record This Week in Gaming. Here's what's happening. Blah blah blah
Yeah.
blah 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 blah. And I found someone to edit for me for free. It's
Yeah.
possible.
Yes.
It's definitely, I found one to edit for me for free. And that's how I came up with that series. And before him, I was actually doing it by myself on I called it Gaming Dojo News on the
Okay.
Gaming Dojo YouTube channel.
Okay.
So like before him, I was already doing that, but it was here's another thing. In Colorado, because that's when I moved back to Illinois. In Colorado, I found a person with a studio who would let me use their studio, and I literally had to cook him dinner.
Wow.
That was the deal. I was like, I will bring, because I stay with food. I'm like, I will bring you food if you let me use your teleprompter, your big screen TV,
Yeah.
your green screen. And he was like, sure, no problem.
Yes. See, yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Innovative.
you
Yes.
gotta see people, because that's money that he didn't have to pay, that he was gonna pay, right?
Right. Right. Yeah. So yes, I'm so glad you brought all of that up, making it happen. People in the chat are saying what you did is innovative, and I truly agree. It is. It is. It is very innovative.
Thank you.
Finding
Thank you.
things that you need to make shit happen. So yes. All right. So who are some people in the industry that you look up to and influence you positively?
I'm gonna sound like complete trash right now. Okay? I want to put out the trash disclaimer.
Okay.
I feel like I didn't have anyone in the gaming industry to look up to, and I have people now, but like in the beginning, it was people like Jamel Hill, right? I also had a friend who was going in the news. Like these are like I don't know Jamel, but like people who are personal to me, I was like, yo, I want to be like that,
Yeah,
right? Like the
yeah,
people that I met at NBC, like, yo, I want to be like Stephen Holt. Like, I
yeah.
want to do that. So those were like my roadmaps. And, Anderson Cooper is a G all around.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. One time I went on a job interview and they're like, why journalism? I was like, Kent Brockman, Clark Kent, Spider-Man, Kermit the Frog. They were all, and it was true. Like, those
Mm-hmm.
were my initial people
Yeah.
that I was like, well, I want to be a journalist. And so, like, now I think I do have to give it up to like a lot of the Black women creators that I met, like ex Mira Mira, Miss
Mm-hmm.
Ash Locks, you
Yes.
guys, Junae, of course. And like, but these are people who are real personal to me.
Yes.
I just learned about Erin. I don't remember her last name, but she's a huge esports person as
Mm-hmm.
well. Nars was one of the people who helped me with my writing career. She
Mm-hmm.
let me like write for her website. Um, it's all personal people that
Yeah.
I like have had an interaction with that I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, like wow, like and I also look up to the people who are trying to do what I do
Yeah.
because that's why I feel like I also go so hard because I'm like, I'm trying to crawl so y'all can glide. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? Like
Exactly.
because
Yes.
because there are esports like women and there are esports Black women, but like if I started naming them off in like a regular conversation, people be like, who? And I'm
Right.
not gonna lie to
Mm-hmm.
you, I don't know a lot of like the league, the people who do like the league stuff either, but people know them, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
people know them, and that's the type of status you want to get on with, and you
Mm-hmm.
want them to be like, yeah, my homegirl behind me who been doing the same thing, she just as good. Let
Mm-hmm.
her do this, let her do that. So like, I also really appreciate people who be like, man, I want to do this, and I'd be like,
Yes.
I see you, and that's important.
Yes, it is. Yes. Thank you for that. Yes.
Yeah.
Um, I really like that you brought up the people who are trying to do the same things and like looking up to them. Like that's a very unique perspective to have. So I appreciate you bringing that out. So why don't you tell us what gaming means to you as a Black woman?
Oh man. Okay. So it means community.
Mm-hmm.
It's also how I met my husband.
Yes.
Uh,
Okay,
hey,
husband,
like,
husband.
just put it out there. Just put it out there. Um, it just means community. It means I get to talk to people. It means I'll give you a really good example. I was on a job interview for a phone on the phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so on my resume, I have like Black Girl Gamers, Black Girl Nerds, blah 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 blah. And he was like, "Tell me about Black Girl Gamers." I'm like, "What you want to know? Like what do you want to know?" And he was like, "Well, why?" And I was like, it's a safe space for Black girls who game. And he was like, why, do Black girls need their own spaces as opposed to like white girls? And I feel like he was genuinely asking.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, think of it like this. You go to work all day, and at work, you're a different person. When you come home and you're with family, you can truly be who you want to be. And that's how I feel about gaming, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I can be who I am. I
Mm-hmm.
can get on my mic. We can play
Mm-hmm.
mayhem mode and cuss everybody out and
Yes,
all
you
of that
know we
fun
love
stuff,
mayhem.
and then just be regular.
Yes.
And then opposed to like when I go out, I gotta pretend like I'm interested in the weather and like who's doing what, and I'm just like, I don't care about none of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did you see Borderlands DLC? Like, can we talk about that? And so it just
Mm-hmm.
means a sense of community. It means being who I am. And I get
Mm-hmm.
to play a lot. I get to play a lot with my husband. Like I do. Like we'll play Gears, we'll play Borderlands, we'll
Mm-hmm.
play Mortal Kombat,
Yes.
Tekken, like
Yes.
everything, Overcooked, all the stupid games. Every game, every game.
Yes, yes. Um, so I want to go back to what you were saying about the analogy that you made to this person about how you're at work all day and you're one person, and then when you go home, you get to be yourself and be family, and that really
Mm-hmm.
is it. Like it's not like we
Yeah.
have spaces for Black women that are just for us, and a lot of people think that, oh, we're in the spaces and all we talk about is being Black. It's all about
Yeah.
black, black, black.
Yeah.
While being Black is a part of it, that's not the it's not the foundation. It really
Right.
is for us to carve out a space where we can just be human. You know, like I
Yeah.
can't, if I go to a space that where I'm the only black woman, people think that I'm the
No,
representative for all black women and all black people,
and
got
it's
to
not.
deal with,
It's
right.
not.
They got to deal with
Maybe I don't like Kool-Aid. Not to
microaggressions.
be stereotypical, but come on
Exactly.
now.
Right.
Maybe I just don't. Maybe
Right.
I just don't. Like,
Right.
and it's crazy because like when I lived in Colorado,
Mhm.
I think Popeyes was rare, right?
Mhm.
So I found the one. Yeah, I love me some Popeyes. I
Yes,
found the
Popeye.
one Popeyes, and I was going into the mall, and like it really had you thinking. I was like,
Mhm.
I don't even want to throw away. I don't want to throw away my Popeyes bag
Yeah.
in the mall.
Mhm.
Like I don't, cause that I don't want them to be like, I bet some watermelon and grape soda in there
Right.
too, cause I'm not gonna swing off of you,
Right.
cause it's not that deep.
Right.
Everybody loves Popeyes, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it is frustrating because you can imagine what it's like to be the only nerd in your non-nerdy friends,
Mhm.
and then what it's like to be the only black nerd and like a group of
Mhm.
like either non-nerdy people,
Mhm.
non-black. It's a lot because
Mhm.
now like say so I'm at C2E2. I've gone to conventions before with people who are not nerdy, and
Mhm.
they're like, "What's that cosplay? What's that cosplay?" Most of the time, I know, but I don't. When I get around like my friends, I be asking them, "Who's that? Who's this? Oh, that's a
Mhm.
rendition," and it's different. So
Mhm.
like it is a place to be like, I just want to breathe.
Right. Just want to
Somebody did this
breathe.
microaggression to me, and it's
Yes.
not even always about that.
Mhm.
It may be like, remember Easter when we all used to get our ears burnt with the hot phone. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yes.
about that. Like hey, all the dark skinned girls who got that little patch or whatever on their knee. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Oh
Like
my
that's what
God.
it's
Why
about.
do we
It's
all have that same damn patch on our knee? Oh my God.
yeah, and that's what it's about. Like,
Yes.
and so when people get to being like, you're being racist, no, I feel like if I am in a really good women of esports group that allows us to
Mhm.
be just women.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And anytime that pace gets that place gets compromised, it's not good for
Mhm.
anybody. So I think a safe place for everyone is important because that's your home. When
Mhm.
you go home, you can be as trash as you want to be, but
Mhm.
you're not trash in public.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It's the
Mhm.
same thing for people who are racist or bigots
Mhm.
or whatever the case is. Y'all don't really, some of y'all, the smart ones, don't do that in public,
Right.
but when you go home, you get to say all types of things.
Right. Yep. Exactly. Exactly. Thank you for that host, Bo Rain. Yes, yes. A lot of people in chat are agreeing and really resonating with what we're saying about being home and being with your people. Yes. The gaming diva, welcome in. Yes, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here. All right, so we'll move on.
Okay.
So let's tell us a little bit more about your video game journalism course. A lot of people were like interested in learning more about it and like what's offered in it, and like what inspired you to create it and just that whole process. Like creating a course is not easy.
No.
So like just tell us a little bit more about your video game journalism course.
I felt like, okay, so uh I like to learn, but I hate school, right? I like to learn, but I hate school. And I feel like we're coming upon an age where like degrees don't matter. And that's a good thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because even if you have a master's, they're trying to pay you $15 an hour.
All
And
right,
I don't know who doing that off of nothing.
girl.
But I did a test course. I
Mm-hmm.
selected about like 6 to 10 people. And I was like, hey, you guys, I want to teach you some things. I want to give you some codes so you can review some games.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see like how this goes. And it
Mm-hmm.
went really well. So
Okay.
I wanted to offer it to people as well as get my coin.
Yes, get
Because
your
I
coin.
did go
Get
to
your coin.
school.
Yes.
I did go to school and I have years of experience
Yes,
writing
exactly.
like video games reviews. So I did it for like six to 10 people. I can't remember. It's probably like 10. And I taught them how to write from a press release.
Mm-hmm.
Because a press release can be really intimidating. And I learned to do that when I was at NBC. Like they would say, and I don't know what they call it in other places, but they call them aldermans here,
Mm-hmm.
like the people who are part of certain sections
Mm-hmm.
of the city. They're
Okay.
called aldermen. So you would get a press release like, oh, Alderman such and such of like Ward 3 is, opening this building. And you would have to write an article for NB freaking C. You know what I mean? Like you have to write an article and make that plush and give them
Yeah.
all the information they need. And so it can be intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was from that, I learned how to write gaming press releases, which are so much easier because these people want you to gush
Yeah.
about their game.
Yeah.
So I taught them how to write from press releases. I taught them what embargo means. Like embargo, like if I give you an embargo on this video, you can't release it until such and such date, or you get in trouble. It's important to know what embargo means. Yeah.
Okay.
So press releases, embargo, game reviews. There are not strategies for game reviews. No one really tells you. That's why some game reviews be like real bad. They'll be like, yeah, I like the game. Okay, but that's not 600 words. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
let's do something. Let's do something. And when you do a game review, right, one paragraph can be 600 words and you don't even realize it.
Right.
So I did that. I talked about marketing yourself on all social media like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I talked about how to get free game codes as well. Free game codes, how to fill out a press release, like if you want to go to E3, how to qualify yourself to go to E3 or like GDC or PAX or something like that. That's most of it though. That's the big stuff.
Okay.
How to interview people. I talked a little bit on how to interview people, and how to post your articles. I also talked about how to like write titles. Like a good title versus like, man jumps overboard from carnival ship. Like, that's not a very good title. Or like, how to not do like clickbait titles.
Yeah.
Like, you'll never believe what these meme stars look like now. Like, no.
Right.
That's not a good one. So I also did that too.
Nice. Okay, so going a little bit off of that, let's jump into pitching. So,
Oh, I also talk about pitching.
Yes,
Yeah.
pitching. So, someone wants to go into video game journalism, or, they want to go to E3 or do a press release, or they want to partner with a company that's releasing a game or anything like that. Talk a little bit about how the pitching process goes, or like any advice for someone who's just starting out and wants to know more about how they can like successfully pitch themselves. Like what goes into that process of pitching?
Yeah. So if you're shy, get over it. The first thing in journalism I was taught is to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Okay.
And this is perfect. So I just today, like a couple hours ago, I got announced that I'm a part of Equinox Esports team.
Yes.
And it's a matter of, and it's funny because I didn't pitch to them, but because I've pitched to myself so much, she knew who I was. You know what I mean? Like, so, and that's also good marketing too. Pitching is marketing, so you're marketing yourself. So what happens is, imagine you buy a badge for PAX, right? You buy a badge for PAX, you go to one of the indie booths with the games, and you're like, hey man, you're playing the game, you're like, man, I really like this game. I wonder if the dev, if that's the dev or whomever, if they'll give me a free game. Sometimes, yeah. So what you do is you go, hey, especially if you're starting out like as a streamer, they love to see their game live stream, especially to your community, especially, if you have like a unique community, like say if it's like a card game, like a digital card game, and you're like, oh my gosh, I play digital card games all the time. They're like, heck yes, So you go up to them, you go, hi, my name's Junae Benne. I am a affiliate streamer on Twitch, or I am a streamer on blah, 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 blah. And I would love to stream your game to my community. My community is comprised of this many people.
Yeah.
We have game nights, we do this, we do that. I would love to showcase your game to the community, and then, write a review about it afterward. Most of the time they're like, yeah, we'll send you a code when it happens, blah, blah. Sometimes they say no. I got a little bit used to no. Y'all gonna just yell?
Right, what they doing?
They having a good time, huh?
Right. They're up here yelling in the back.
So, okay, do you? So, sometimes it's no, but I got used to no because I was a brand ambassador for a Fortune 500 company. And what that means is I would apply to different marketing companies to get gigs with like people like Xbox or a lot of the Nintendo Switch stuff I did was through another marketing company. And what happens is I stand out in festivals in the hot sun and I ask people if they want to sign up for these things or take a pamphlet or play a game. And when people no, I was just like whatever. You don't take it personal. So if people say no, it does not determine your value.
Right.
You know what I mean? You just go next time, and then you know what? You go to another indie booth gamer, another indie dev booth, whatever, and you ask them. Maybe somebody who isn't like has a crowd around them, right? Maybe somebody who does have a crowd. Like it just go. I would go to all of them. You know what I mean? And you would be like, hey, I would love to do this. I would love to do that. So one, get your 10-second elevator pitch down, because if you go to an event like E3, man, I met a lot of people at E3.
Yeah.
Like I met Cisco. It was wild.
Wait. You said you met who?
Huh?
You said you met Cisco?
Yeah, I met Cisco.
Like Cisco from Drew Hill?
Like Unleash the Dragon Cisco. Yeah. Yes.
Are you at E3?
He did music for Prince of Persia.
Oh my God. I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know either because I was like, what's Cisco doing at E3? And someone was like, Prince of Persia. And I was like, no.
I did not know that. That is so freaking cool. Yeah. Oh my God. Listen, chat knows that I love Cisco. They know I love Drew Hill. They know I love me some Drew Hill. Okay, sorry. I had to make sure I heard you.
No, yeah, Cisco was pretty. I also met Rick Fox too, so that was dope too.
Oh, dope! Yes.
Yes.
What I call him, fine ass Rick Fox.
Right, exactly. So what happens is you get your 10-second elevator pitch where you tell somebody who you are. Hi, my name is Junae Benne. I'm an esports journalist, and I do player profiles for people like Cuddlecore, Hit Gang God, blah 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 blah. And I would love to interview you. Is that possible? Yeah. Okay. Boom. All right. Let's do this interview. Here are a couple questions I'm going to ask you. How are you loving E3? What are you doing here? Are you showcasing anything new? Is there anything you want to tell the people? And what is your next event? Right. So you pitch yourself to either interview people or you pitch yourself to either get their product. So then you can also have content, because the more product you have, the more content you have. So your elevator pitch is just like a really quick, people talk really fast. So I would say 10 seconds is a lot of time to tell people about yourself and what you're doing and what you want to do. That's how I got a free Mortal Kombat game. And I'm talking about premium. Like, every character that come out, I have it. I walked up to, and you got to know who these people are. I'm not very good with faces all the time either, so I'm not know their faces. But the community manager for Mortal Kombat was at Combo Breaker, and I was like, hey, what'd I say to him? Look, I remember. I was just like, hey, my name's Junae. I think Mortal Kombat's really cool. I think it's funny how a lot of people were upset about how Jax stopped slavery at the end of his. If you haven't played Mortal Kombat yet, Jax's ending story is that because they in time he stopped slavery, and a lot of people were upset. And I was like, I just think it's so funny because people are really sensitive. And then, what's crazy is I didn't mention it because my husband calls me a finesser. I'm not. I literally just ask for things that I want.
She be out here finessing.
I don't finesse people. I do not. People do not like being finessed. You just ask, okay? You just ask. Yeah. And I was like, I love Mortal Kombat. I was playing MK X, and I just haven't got this one. He was like, yeah, and I was like, yeah, I haven't got it. But I would like to do some stuff for people in Black Girl Gamers community, if they like MK. And he was like, yeah. He was like, I can give you a code. And I asked him, I was like, do you do tours of, because everybody's in Chicago, NetherRealms is in Chicago. I'm like, do you do tours of the office? And he was like, no, like, like not really. And like, there's not like a lot of merch to give out, but like if you need codes for something, like let's do that.
Okay.
And so when you yourself and like you give people like a good reason to support you, they'll do it no problem.
Yeah.
You just have to be legit and get yourself a business card.
Oh
There's
yes.
nothing wrong with that. And also, I just learned about digital business cards.
Oh yep.
Fancy. I just learned about that. Get yourself a business card where you touch somebody's phone and you be like, now you got my info.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Be fancy on it.
Yes. Yes.
Get yourself a business card. Get back their business card. One thing that I didn't mention in my course is when people respond. If you go to a convention, do not email people on a Monday. The people that you connected with, you email them on a Tuesday. I learned that when I went to E3.
Okay.
You email them on a Tuesday because that's when they like know that you're serious about something and when they're ready to respond and stuff to you. Because apparently, like everybody emails them on Monday, like, yeah, how about that free stuff that we were talking about? And apparently Tuesday is like the serious day to do it.
Okay.
So I think that rule still stands. I do it. It's been working out so far. You give them like a day to recover, and then they know like, okay, Tuesday I'm supposed to be back in it. So
yeah.
I didn't even think
about that. That's a really good point. That's a really good tip. Yes. Yes, on a Tuesday. Yes, yes. Okay. So let's talk a little bit more about hosting like tournaments and stuff like that. On your website, it does talk about how you hosted Hyper Battle 3. So like, what is that? What is that like? What is it like to host a freaking tournament? Like tournaments are lit.
When I tell you, it was the biggest tournament in Colorado before DreamHack got there. Like it was awesome. So like I said, I had created the gaming dojo. And I met my best friend. She is an artist, and she let me use her studio to host my smaller tournaments, right? And like a lot of people weren't showing up. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. Like some days I just like sat in there with the door open, and people didn't come in. Other times when I had like a special event, like people would show up. And then I started getting more into the scene. I met people who were doing it in like different cities in Colorado, and I was like, hey, what if I can get like a really big venue and you don't have to do it in like these smaller places that don't appreciate you? So there was a place called Afric Mall, and I made friends with them. I was friends with the people at Afric Mall because like I just had a lot to offer. They were asking about like social media stuff. They wanted to do more with gaming, and like I was the person that you came to at that time for like console gaming, because there was a Clutch Gaming Arena was like mostly PC based. And so they did PC stuff, but not a lot of console stuff. But like I did the console stuff. And Afric Mall, since I was doing so much for them, I was like, hey, let me use your upper room to do video gaming. And they were like, okay, cool. And then I was like, hey, we should host this tournament because I have a space that has a whole ballroom that they're not using. So they were like, okay, cool. And I was like, word? And he was like, say less, not for real, but in my head, this is how it works. So then I started like communing with other people like I already had been doing. And so then, because gamers don't trust names that they don't know.
Right.
So people first weren't coming to me because they didn't know me. I hadn't been in Colorado for more than a year, I think. Maybe a year and a half. But I hadn't been like really into the gaming scene, So they weren't really like, oh, like we know her. They were like, who's that? And they don't come to places unless they trust them. So I got some people that they trusted and clearly like proved my worth. Like my word is good, And then we started commuting together. So then that's when my tournament started picking up. Then when it was time for Hyper Battle, because Hyper Battle isn't mine, it was just a place that I got the venue. And I got like, and they definitely brought equipment, but I like got the venue, got the schedule, got everything together. And it was like the biggest tournament. And I don't know if it was the biggest just because it could fit a lot of people, but like it was like the big, like I had like 200 people,
Oh my
which was like
gosh.
a lot for me. It was a lot. It was a lot. And I was really proud of it. And I was so happy with the guys. Like, even though I moved from Colorado, like I still talk to them. And I'll see them sometimes when they come to Combo Breaker in Chicago. And I'll be like, oh my gosh. And they're, it's funny. They ask me, they're like, are you coming back? I'm like, no. They're like, we need the gaming dojo. And I'm like, are you being for real? He's like, yeah, like a lot of the places have fallen off and they're not doing stuff anymore. And another exciting thing is that
Well,
when I go to panels and conventions and like I mention it, the people from Colorado be like, we heard of the gaming dojo. And I'd be like, no way. So like I made this thing that has like this everlasting impact.
yes.
And even though I had to close it because when I moved to Chicago, I didn't have a venue no more.
Yeah.
And like I just didn't have the support that I did in Colorado. So I ended up closing it. But is your baby okay? I mean,
Right? What is it? I hear a baby. Like, is everything okay?
is your baby okay? Like, you good? I'm just here for the babies. You know what I mean? You know, love the kids. I'm just saying. So, but yeah, so I did that, and on top of doing the gaming dojo, I had an after school program where I would teach kids coding. Ask me how much I know about coding. Don't do it because you're going to embarrass me. I don't know that much, but I know enough to and it was for black and brown kids. It was for black and brown kids because guess what? The studio that I was in, or the computer place that I was using in like the youth center was on like Martin Luther King Drive or something. So that's where black and brown people live.
Right.
So it was like I just knew enough coding so I could teach the kids that they could do something that they could be interested in. And so I really like doing that. So like on top of doing like the tournaments, I was like hosting after school programs, which was like a lot of fun. And I never charged the kids. I never wanted to. Any place that I went, the kids actually ended up being sponsored.
Nice.
And then I started doing it through a church, and then the church paid for it instead of like the parents. And I was like, that's what I want. I don't want to charge the kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was a goal of mine that I accomplished that I was real excited for.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I hope that you are able to like get that back going at some point.
Yeah, I did it a couple of times here, but Chicago isn't as thirsty for STEM, I think, as Colorado. But like I said, like my support system in Colorado was crazy. Like it was literally like 3 degrees of separation. You know what I mean? Like everybody like had something to be like, oh, such and such does this and that. And in Chicago, there's like a lot more rules. Like you gotta like to go to like have kids sponsored, you gotta like it's a lot of stuff. So I can't really do it yet, but I'm gonna try. I'll continuously try like every year.
Yeah, definitely. So you mentioned a little bit more about coding. I don't know a whole lot about coding. I'm like trying to teach myself a little something. I'm pretty sure you know more about it than I do, since you can teach people and I'm not there yet. But
I can teach kids.
Look,
because I tried to learn coding. Girl, I had to go to the eye doctor. She was like, ma'am, you're going blind from stress.
Oh,
she was
my
like,
God.
I would be like staring at the screen like this close.
Yeah.
And she was like, you gotta give yourself like time, like you gotta use your long vision. Because I would sit there and I would literally go blurry. She was like, it's because you're stressed. You're just straining your muscles too much. And I was like, well, I better close up this chapter. So I only know like a little bit about coding.
So do you have any like programs or that you would recommend that you liked, even if it was for like teaching kids or teaching or learning for yourself or anything like that?
Kodu, KODU.
Okay.
That's from Microsoft, so that's really good, and it'll teach you the basics. Because coding is pretty much sentences, and you just got to put it together. I feel like code.org is one, and I think that's free.
Okay.
Just in Mind, I think Just in Mind or something like that. That's also free, and it takes you through like JavaScript, CSS. Like if you want to go deeper in that stuff like that. Scrimba, SCRIMBA. Scrimba, I think, is also another free and good program. So that's just a couple.
Okay, nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So, what has been the most challenging thing that you you, or just the most challenging thing about video game journalism?
The most challenging thing I think is when I told people what I was doing. They were like, "Oh, I wish I could play video games all day," and I wanted to punch them because I was
Yeah.
like, "Be me too, sign me
Yeah.
up. If
Right.
that's what we're doing, let's go." So I think that was it because I think it was so it stemmed from there to trying to make people take me seriously.
Yeah.
And like even as a woman, even as a black girl, that wasn't a thing because like I said, I just started getting into like super games and like understanding them when I was like 21, 22. So mind you, I go to a Xbox, no, Halo launch. Maybe it was an Xbox release party at Microsoft. And I'm doing interviews. And so I'll never forget. I think it was a girl too. I'll never forget. I asked the question. I said, what's your favorite Xbox game? She gonna say Forza. My smart self gonna say, who's your favorite character? Ma'am, Forza is a racing game. I was like, can we cut this off and do this again? Like it was awful. Like I was like, and she was like, it's okay, it's okay. And I was like, no, like I lost it. I was like, oh my gosh. So I think having people take me serious and give me real opportunities because I gotta like claw and scratch for the things that I want.
Yeah.
And because I have like more background now, it's not as hard to get some of the things, but to get here was hard. And I almost quit.
Yeah.
I almost quit. Maybe it was like last year.
Yeah.
Last year, the year before that, I almost quit. I was like, no, I'm not getting anywhere. And my goal is to help other people. Like that's it. My goal is to literally build an escalator right behind me.
Yes.
And have other people come up behind me. And I
Yes.
feel like I couldn't do that.
Right.
So like no matter how many panels I was on, no matter how many, like I went to London for an esports panel with Black Girl Gamers, but like no matter how many events I did, how many tournaments I ran, if I'm not bringing other people up, what's the point?
Right.
And so I got really discouraged because I was like, I can't even fund other people. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even have enough money. It was like, I don't even have enough money to sponsor other people, like other people are sponsoring me because going to DreamHack, I got my press badge. Like the guy that I met at E3 got me a press badge. He was like, send such and such your name. Boom, I'm on the list. Somebody else bought me a plane ticket. Boom, I'm on my way to DreamHack. And I literally just had to buy my hotel. But like that's nothing compared to trying to actually get there.
Right.
And I couldn't do that. And like even now, like I still can't really do that. But I'm getting to the point where I could be like, oh hey, you know who's doing something? Brand is doing something. Jay is doing something. You looking for somebody who's a top such and such? This person is doing something. And I'm able to do that now and be like, hey, look, this person is gonna contact you. And that makes me feel better. So like I'm definitely still going forward with it because now I'm starting to see a little bit of the fruits of my labor.
Yes. Please do not stop. Keep going. Don't quit. Don't quit. We need you. Plus, you're just out here doing amazing, amazing things. So yes, I know it gets hard, but do not give up. But so on the flip side, what has been the most rewarding thing about video game journalism?
I think one of my favorite things is connecting with the people that I interview.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. I have become really good friends with some of the esports players that I've interviewed, like Cuddlepore being one of them. And then to listen to people's story, like Jesse the Commander is a Street Fighter player. And I got to asking him about like his background and his career and stuff like that. And you would have just never known because when people interview people, they go, hey, you won. How do you feel?
Right.
Okay, what's your next thing?
Right.
And that's it. They never are like, where did you come from?
Right.
Who let you, especially as a first generation American, who let you sit down and play games all day?
Right.
Who?
Right.
Which one of your parents was like, yeah, that's okay?
Right.
Because my mom was like, I'm sorry, you want to do what? Even now, it took her a while to be like, you're doing what? And I was like, yeah, I'm like, making money, being like a TO and stuff like that. She was like, yeah. I was like, okay.
Right.
And so it's interesting to talk to the people. So I think talking to the people, being able to highlight people, being able to connect with more people, and just being able to be weird with other weird
Yes,
people. You know,
yes,
I like to be weird. Like,
yes.
yeah. So that's been like the most rewarding.
Excellent. Awesome. I love it. So do you have any tips or advice when it comes to writing about games or anything like that? It's specifically for like black women and women of color who want to start doing these things. Like, what would be like your number one piece of advice you could give?
My number one piece of advice would be know what you're writing about, right?
Okay.
Um, so say you're really interested in Tekken, but you don't know three characters about Tekken. One, you would have to do your research. And
Yeah.
two, you don't have to be there are so many different angles to write about Tekken. You don't have to talk about the pro players. You don't have to talk about the characters. You don't have to talk about the patches. It could be a feel piece, but know what you're talking about, you know? Like, you could be like, technically, for me, Tekken did this and introduced me to other things. Like, you know, I really like 3D fighters. So now I'm going to branch off into it or talk about, you know, how you saw the rise of Tekken and things like that. I think it's important to just know what you're talking about
Right.
when you write something, but know that you're not pigeonholed to one thing.
Right.
Like, you have so many angles that you can tackle things from. Um, another another thing, um,
They are
another thing
clowning.
No, like big time. Like they're like, we came here to do this. Um, Another thing would be is, and this is really hard for me because I have a really big heart, and I'm like, wrong is wrong, and you shouldn't
Right.
do that. Don't get caught up on what is right and what is wrong if it doesn't directly concern you. Keep your morals, please,
Okay.
please keep your morals. But like, get every piece of everything that you can from anybody
Okay.
and use that to uplift other people. I feel like as Black women, we are super scrutinized,
Yeah.
and we are also really a part of like cancel culture. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yes.
Where people be like, "No, that person."
Yep.
I'm away. I'm gonna wait for the field trip to just mosey
I
on
can
out.
see them
Because,
passing by in the back, in the shot, in the reflection.
um, but yeah, I feel like we don't give people the room to grow,
Yeah.
and we also are like, I'm not working with that person because nobody's telling you to work with Logan Paul
Right.
or PewDiePie. That's not what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't work with people that have proved to be like
Right.
absolute trash, but like,
Right.
for example, and I'm gonna put this on record. I messaged Energy, they're an esports team, and I messaged them. I was like, "Hey, I'll write for you." They're like, "Yeah, I do it for free," and I was like, "Huh, psych." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, but now, like, if they were to come back to me and be like, "Hey, we'll pay you to write," I'm not gonna be like, "No, you didn't," because you value me now. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Right.
And I mean, I'm gonna tell on you.
Right.
I'm telling on you right now. You know, I'm gonna tell, but I'm not gonna miss an opportunity to be
Right.
published somewhere else
Right.
just because of some foolishness. So
Right.
that's
Right.
another thing. And it's really hard to do that. It's really hard to be like, I'm going to swallow my, you're wrong pill,
Yeah.
and, swallow like this thing where it's like, man, to me, I got to take care of everybody,
Yeah.
and it's like, I also learned that like that's a form of manipulation.
Yeah.
Like, if Brand, if you like, man, Susie, da 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 da, I'm gonna be like, let's go ride down on Susie, and Susie didn't do nothing to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, I'm trying to stop doing that, because
Yeah.
what if Susie is like, hey, Junae, I got this really big event. I'm gonna be like, cool. Hey, Brand, do you want to cover this event?
Right.
And you know what I mean? And
Right.
that's another way for you to still get your in and not have
Right.
to directly deal with Susie,
Right.
but you can take her money. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
Susie
Right.
paying all of us. So
Right.
like, regardless if she don't like you or not, you do a good job. I
Right.
got you out here and you're getting money. So that's what I mean.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what games are you currently playing? What are you currently into?
Girl. I was playing Sudoku yesterday, if anybody wanted to know.
Yeah.
It took me 6 minutes to finish one, so that's great. Personal best. I want to finish my Pokedex for Pokemon Sword.
Okay.
I want to finish Tomb Raider, but I'm really scary about it. The
Okay.
Oogie Boogies are terrifying this one.
Okay.
Um, Mortal Kombat, Borderlands, and
Mhm.
Tekken.
Okay.
And I want to play Temtem. I haven't gotten it yet.
Oh,
So
I've heard.
Temtem is
I've
like,
seen. I
yeah.
saw. I watched Pikachu Lita play Tim. It looks so cute.
hmm
Yes.
Yeah, I want to play Temtem. And then I also want to try my hand at what's that? What's the Link game with the it's music based? You know what I'm talking about?
Mm, it's
It's
music
I don't
based.
think it's Link's Awakening. I don't remember what it is. But it's like music based. It's a Link game. It's a like Link game and it's music based.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It just
I want
came
to try
out.
that one. Huh?
It just came out.
Not really. It's a little old, but like
Okay.
it's top down. They're really tiny. Well, I guess except Breath of the Wild is every Link game, Zelda game is
It's
like that.
okay. I don't
Yeah.
know. I have to look it up so I can know what you're
Yeah,
talking
it's
about.
real cute though. It's real cute. I wanted
Okay.
to try it.
I love cute games.
Yeah.
So is there anything else that you'd like us to know?
I'm coming out with a video game journalist ebook that pretty much says everything that the course says, but it allows you to kind of visually see it.
Okay.
Because with my course, it's mostly just me talking and I'm using slides. But in the
Okay.
book, you can literally I put up links for you. Like I put up links to older articles that I've done.
Mhm.
I put up links to in the book, I give you a set of links on where you can get your free games at,
Mhm.
um, and things like that. So the book is a bit more forever, and the course is just so you can hear me. Like I like audio and visual learning,
Mhm.
so that's why I really enjoy the course. But then after I like learn it that way, and I go back and I read it, I'd be like, okay, because you can save the ebook and you can save like the game review and
Mhm.
stuff like that.
Okay.
So every time literally every time I write a game review, I literally have it on my second monitor. Like
Okay.
even though I made it, I have it on my second monitor.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, um, yeah, I got some merch.
Okay.
You know, if you wanna be cool. No, I'm just joking. I got some merch. I'm coming out with some new stuff. So I'm rebranding right now.
Okay.
So I'll probably like post the link on my merch, but I have a black and bougie t-shirt. That's like
Okay.
my color. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I also have a black streamers pin.
Okay.
Seen it, you seen it. If you ain't seen it.
Okay.
And then I also have a Black Girl Magic pin coming out too with Twintel.
Okay.
I don't remember the Ink Girl's name from Splatoon and Nessa from Pokemon. It's real cute.
Yes.
Picture of the stickers and I put it on my Instagram, but I
Okay.
think it was a story, so I might put it on there regularly. But
Okay.
yeah, look me up if you want to play some games. I play games with people.
Yes, she does.
Yeah. Yeah, you just gotta
um.
let me know. You gotta let me know that how much hype we're gonna be. If you just want me to be a little hype, you gotta say that. You want me to be
Yes.
like mayhem level hype, you just say that.
Oh my
You
God. Let's
say
not even look. Mayhem is a whole nother
no,
thing.
like girl, my computer was freezing. I was like,
Listen, Mayhem.
my computer used to just be like, "Ma'am, I can't." I'd be
I
like,
get
"You better."
wild with Mayhem. One more thing that I actually meant to ask you about was talk. Can you talk a little bit more about curls and controllers? Because I had some folks like that were like asking about when I mentioned it. Like, wait a minute, curls and controllers. Wait a minute. So I
Yeah,
didn't want to let you go without talking about curls and controllers.
yeah, okay. So curls and controllers was my bright idea. Y'all, I come up with ideas like every month. When I tell you, I'm like, yo, I want to make candles. My husband be like, okay, just do whatever you want to do, like, because you're gonna do it anyway.
Mhm.
So curls and controllers started 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
And I wanted it to be a box of natural hair products and nerdy trinkets.
Mhm.
So I did a couple of boxes. I partnered with natural hair care company companies, like the people who first sponsored me, and
Mm-hmm.
I partnered with small businesses, some of them black owned, some of them just small business, to send
Mm-hmm.
out like nerdy pins. Like you would have like Blinky
Mm-hmm.
as a pin, or like
Mm-hmm.
lanyards, like cool lanyard. Like this is a Final Fantasy lanyard.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would take like 40 of these from whatever convention I was from. Like, if it was something
Yeah.
unique that a lot of people didn't go to, I would take it and I would put it in the box, and then I would give you like a hair care product, like a
Mm-hmm.
shampoo or like a pre-poo, a cleansing poo, a
Yeah.
conditioner, something like
Yeah.
that. And I haven't been able to do that because I wasn't getting a lot of orders for it.
Okay.
And then I also wanted, instead of doing sample products, because I realized not everybody's as ball headed as I am,
Girl,
I
bye.
realized that I wanted to give bigger products because my
Okay.
sample product is like maybe this big, and
Okay.
that's not a lot for someone who has like super duper long hair.
Yeah.
So one, I wanted to upgrade the box and put in full
Mm-hmm.
sizes,
Mm-hmm.
but the demand wasn't high, so I couldn't ask that.
Okay.
I couldn't ask like these black businesses for like huge, like, because I'll buy their things wholesale,
Right.
and then like I'll give it to you guys, and like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So Curls and Controllers started off as a subscription box for natural hair nerds.
Yes.
And, had hair care products in there, and they were like handmade
Yeah.
natural hair care products. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Also Jesse Curl sponsored a couple of boxes that I was able to send out to some people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it started out as that, but now it's just a merch store.
Okay.
And when I get better at
Mm-hmm.
producing the boxes and the size of the hair products that I want, I'll
Mm-hmm.
start it up.
Yes. We will be
But right
on the
now it's just
lookout.
merch. I'll make T-shirts like
Yeah.
Reaper as a black girl. She had
Yes.
like locks and she was thick.
Oh my God. Where is
Yeah,
this at? Because I need this.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So I did that, and a lot of the T-shirts are on my T Public. Like if you
Okay.
just go search my name on T Public, you'll see them.
Okay.
Like I made a natural and nerdy T-shirt,
Mm-hmm.
black and bougie,
Mm-hmm.
Afro Diva. Which, if you have been following me or Black Girl Gamers, Afro Diva was the first image I ever used for a panel, like ever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I made it into a shirt to commemorate like me linking up with my tribe and doing like my
Yes.
first really big panel. Um, so yeah, and then I don't know. I just make stuff from time to time. I don't know
Yeah.
if y'all seen it. I found a blue cactus,
Mm-hmm.
and I painted Goku's face on there
Yeah.
so it could be Super Saiyan God. Blue. So like I do stuff like that, but most of the time it's just like merch, like sweaters.
Yeah.
I'm coming up with my own merch, like my own Junae Benne merch, so that's
Okay.
gonna be there pretty soon.
Okay.
Yeah, so just check out the store. I always got something random, and I don't know if I want to make any of it limited yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Awesome. Well, we will definitely be on the lookout. Yes, the chat is going crazy over the Curls and Controllers. So yes, I think that is such a great idea. So
Thank you.
yes, however we can support, let us know, because that is
Yeah.
a great idea. So just a couple. So for chat, if you all have any questions, feel free to post them now. I do have one question someone asked is, do you have any family members who play games as well?
Yo, let me tell you something. I never got to touch the controller when I was younger.
Okay.
I am the fourth child. In Jamaica, they call it wash belly, right? Because you're the last one.
Uh-huh.
I'm the fourth child. Gee, I didn't even get to play Luigi. You know what I'm saying? So, and my sister. So I don't. And I think the world of my sister, right? So I don't think she's lying. But she told me she beat Punch Out without the special thing. She told me she beat Punch Out without like the special thing or whatever. So they used to play a lot of Mario, and then y'all know the mini NES. I won one, or my husband won it. We had to play Brawlhalla against like Naomi and Kyle.
I love
and
Brawlhalla.
the half black lead player. He's half black, half Asian, Afro something. I don't remember. And he won it. So we both entered the tournament, but he won it because he was the last person there. And I took the NES to Christmas, and they were playing it. Oh my gosh, they were so trash. And I was like, this is what I'll get for never letting me touch a controller. So like, my sister will play with me. Oh, I don't play 2K with my sister anymore.
Okay.
One time we were playing, and she threw the ball from half court and made it, and I cut the game off.
Oh
So
my
no,
God.
I don't have siblings that I play with because the game be cheating. And then I broke that rule and I played MK with her, and she whooped the brakes off of me, and I
Oh
was like,
my
never again.
God.
So I don't play with them. I don't play. I'm the youngest. It's my game. I'm cutting it up. So I don't play. No, no, not at all.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
All right. Well, chat. I don't know if you all have any other questions. You can feel free to reach out to Junae personally. So tell us, where can everyone find you? What are your social media handles?
You know, the cool thing is that I've done so much crap. If you Google my name, I come up.
Okay.
One year there was this challenge. You remember that challenge where people were putting in their name and then they were writing Marvel,
Yeah.
and whatever came up, they would post it.
Mm-hmm.
My picture literally came up. I was like, what the hell? So, cause yeah, it was wild. It was wild. But Google my name or Natural Hair Gamer.
Okay.
I put Natural Hair Gamer in there because sometimes people can't spell Junae, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But my website, my Twitter, my Instagram, they all link back to my website.
Okay.
Are all linked back to me. Like if you DM me, I'm not gonna be bogus with you. I'll answer.
Yeah.
If I don't answer, I'm sleeping, and I will get to you. I promise. I promise. I'm not being shady. Just let me know.
Yes. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Thank
course.
you so much. This has been absolutely amazing.
Yes.
So much knowledge has been dropped today. So many good gems have been dropped today.
Yeah.
I am so excited to see what the future has in store for you. If you all didn't get to see Junae recently, she actually just made the announcement today that
Yeah.
she is now working with Equinox Esports team. So definitely check them out on Twitter. Thank you all so much for coming out. Thank you. We had a great time. Junae, just keep being great. Have fun at C2E2.
No, I'm working it. If you guys are in Chicago and you are coming to C2E2, come by the gaming booth. That's where I am. We got all sorts of tournaments going on: Rocket League, Street Fighter.
Yes.
I play games. Let me show you my shirt because I know I look like I'm not dressed, but I'm literally working.
Yes.
So we do a lot of tournaments and stuff everywhere. So I'll probably be in your city at some point or another.
Yes.
So yeah.
All right. So yes, if y'all are at C2E2, I know we have one member that is there.
Yeah, that's why I got my mask on. I got my little
yeah, so we do have one person who is at C2E2, so I'll be sure to tell her to come by the booth.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go head back upstairs. I'm gonna be at the gaming table. You can't miss me. I literally look just like this.
Okay. Awesome. All right, Junae, well, have fun working, and thank you so much again. I'll be in contact with you because I will be sending you some Brown Girl Gamer Code merch as a thank you for doing this with us. Yes. So I'll be in contact with you. Have an amazing day. Thank you so much.
You too. Bye, you guys. Thanks for watching. I love you, Bran. I love Bran. She's amazing. Everybody support Bran.
Yes, thank you. Bye, boo.
Bye.